When customers make a purchase from my website, the first step is to send them an email to thank them for the order and to explain that my site and only my site provides a wealth of updates and special information on what I call the inner circle to boost your score. The inner circle is packed with special exam boosters you won't receive if you buy the materials anywhere else. However, and here is the bombshell, revealing the real reason why some folks won't pass the exam. Right after I thank folks for ordering via an email, I direct their attention to an email attachment I have sent them, which provides a password for them to secure my inner circle composed of valuable updates. The attachment provides the password in larger than life 16-point font print in the third sentence. It is bold, it is centered, and in bright red. Let me say that once again. The password is in large, bold red print. It's near the top of the page in the third short sentence. It's centered and it's separated from the body of the document. In fact, let's get real. It is right up in your face. If you read on in the same attached letter, I repeat the password several times. So you can't miss the password, right? Wrong. All right. So you can guess what happens next. Seriously, can you? Well, let me share this with you. About 5% of the buyers immediately send me a return email stating, "Oh, thanks, Dr. Rosenthal, but you forgot to include my password. I looked and I couldn't find it in the letter." So, come on, folks, let's analyze this. Here is this person who's going to be taking quite possibly the most challenging and most important exam of their life, possibly several of them if we count the CPCE, the NCE, and comps, and their attention to detail was so tiny they never made it through the third sentence. Chance of passing, unless they luck out, 0. I'm sitting at my computer reading their email thinking, I don't care if this person has the highest IQ on the planet. With their lack of attention to detail, there is no way they are going to pass the exam. Lack of attention to detail will kill your score. Maybe you are thinking, but Dr. Rosenthal, those sound like isolated instances. I bet you can't provide another example. Well, try me. Over the years, I have received a number of emails complaining about the huge mistakes in the index of my encyclopedia of counseling. I will receive an email and it will say something like, "Dr. Rosenthal, I looked up the term XYZ in the index and you have page 1102 in the book. And the book only has 738 pages. Some of these emails, folks, are incredibly belligerent and often end with something like, With your poor attention to detail, Dr. R, I would never run your book to anybody. I plan to tell my professors to stop recommending it. Imagine what these people must be thinking when I immediately send them a return email saying the index is exactly as it should be. Somebody did not pay attention to detail, but it was you. Yeah, you. Has nothing to do with me. The index is intentionally user-friendly by design by question number. So if the term XYZ says 1102, it refers to question 1102, not page number 1102. On page 717 of the encyclopedia, it says index. Numbers refer to question numbers unless otherwise specified. I also mention this in the preface and other places in the text. Over the years, only a handful of people have ever said, "Oh, I feel really embarrassed," or something like that. The other day, a colleague of mine brought a few negative reviews related to my materials to my attention. The ones which say things like 30 pages of the book are missing, or he goes from question 296 and skips a bunch of questions and goes to question 338, or two of the audio CDs don't play at all. This tells me the person has a fake, pirated, or counterfeit copy of my materials. Let me assure you, there are lots of them floating around. My favorite, a certain copy of the Encyclopedia Counseling with the word counseling spelled incorrectly on the cover. Yeah, really. But my friend showed me another review, and I'm not going to get too specific because I don't want to embarrass this counselor. But the counselor said my materials were pretty good. Well, thanks for that. And worth buying. Well, thanks for that as well. But listed a pretty long laundry list of topics I left out, which you will likely need to know to do well on the exam. Since the counselor bought the materials from me, I knew the counselor was not using fake, pirated, or counterfeit materials in this case. But I also knew that my materials covered each and every subject in one or more of my books, CDs, second edition of the Human Services Dictionary, or Inner Circle programs. Now, maybe the counselor didn't remember it, or perhaps we are back to our old friend, not paying attention to detail. In this case, lots of details. Lastly, we have a teeny tiny cadre of counselors who are too obsessed with details. They stay up nights tossing and turning before the exam because they can't recall whether Freud was born on May 6th or May 7th of 1856. Actually, it was May 6th, but knowing that won't boost your comprehensive exam scores. Could help you win a trivia night contest to raise money for a local counseling agency. Now, this small group of obsessive counselors, unless they suffer from paralysis by analysis, they do pretty well on the exam. They do fine, so I'm not worried about them. So the takeaway message is to read and listen to everything I share with you, especially your password for the Inner Circle program. Say, if there are any programs you would like me to create, let me know down below. And best wishes on your exam and your career in counseling.